Good morning and welcome to the Salon Owners Social Media Marketing Group. How are you all this morning? I am back. I can move. I'm not feeling ill anymore. It's amazing. My neck. I feel great. So yesterday, obviously, I had to go and have an appointment with the chiropractor because something was really wrong. And it turns out there's a vertebrae in the left side of my neck that was stuck on one side. So probably where I've been working on this desk. And in fact, that whole side of my body, I crossed that leg. So I'm probably like leaning in somewhere and the muscle over the top was pinning it down. And so when he kind of manipulated my head and then went, I kind of felt like my head was on the floor and I was really scared. He was like, you can open your eyes. I'm like, is my head still attached? But a massive thank you to Damon at Utilities for really just freeing that neck pain for me. And the headache's kind of still there a little bit in the background, the eyes still flickering up and down, but I can function, I can speak, I feel like me again. So how is everybody out there? We're currently streaming across 2 different Facebook groups and YouTube. So drop me a little hello. How are you this morning? How are you doing? How are you feeling? And before we're going to talk about today, about conducting a social media audit. But before I do, because I never really plan what I'm going to say, I just literally, I plan the content, like the subject, and then I just, whatever words come out, I feel are the words that need to come out because somebody on the other end is supposed to hear it. And just before I went live, I saw this on social media and I just want to read it out because it really made me think. It says, success is measured not by what you have, but by what you have given up. And it really made me think, what do we need to give up in order to go back into our salons and be successful? And that could be lots of different things. It could be we need to give up moaning. It could be we are a stressed salon owner that drinks quite a lot and we need to give up drinking. It could be that we are a stressed salon owner and we eat lots of chocolate. So maybe that's what we need to give up. But what is it that you need to give up in order to go back into your business and reclaim a new version of yourself? Because I believe we upgrade ourselves every day. We become a new person by adapting to the events and circumstances that hit us in a day. And you have 2 ways of looking at things. You have the positive and you have the negative, and whichever one you choose underlines the outcome and then how that affects and impacts you on a mental capacity. And your wellness is so important right now. Your mental wellness, in fact, your mental and your physical wellness is so important. We're going back, which is just absolutely super. But I tell you what's going to come next because it's already happened in my business. So last night at 10 o'clock, well, actually at 9:55, we got a text message and an email from my daughter's school. She can't go into school for 2 weeks. So just when we're going back, the schools are going to start shutting down. This morning, good morning, Lewis. This morning, one of my team, Jen, can you phone me when you get 5 minutes? What do you think the phone call is? One of her children. She's got 4 kids, one of her children's schools. Now you can't go back for 2 weeks. So, this is the next challenge, the next hurdle that we're going to have to jump over. And if you're like me and your stylist is very lucky, my daughter is 13 years old. She is more than capable of being at home by herself. It did mean we were running around Tesco's last night at 10 o'clock trying to find a laptop for her, because although the schools have said that they can all do their work on their phones, I don't believe in sitting on your phone from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon with notifications pinging up left, right and centre. The kids are going to get no work done whatsoever. So, and she can't have my laptop because I'm on it. I need it. So we were running around last night trying to find her a new laptop, since the iPad is now a goner, so she can't use that. So think about, what do we need to give up to move ourselves into a better state to overcome the next challenges we're going to have? You know, when we go back in December, we need to be mentally, physically, and emotionally ready for this. So you've got the next week, or the next few days, to really, really rest up. Lots of water, lots of good food, physical exercise, getting yourself ready to go back into what I call war. Like, we're going back to war. It's going to be crazy. And couple that with stylists left, right and centre having to not be able to come in because their children have been sent home, having to self-isolate. We definitely are going back to war. We're going to have to be able to switch and turn and make decisions quickly, efficiently, and effectively. So what do you need to give up to be successful? And what do you need to plan right now in order to come back with certainty and focus and clarity? You know, play with it over the next week. So if this stylist goes down, what do I do? If this stylist can't come in, what do I do? If both of them can't come in, what do I do? Is there a plan of action? I've got a girl who I think would be absolutely perfect. She used to work for me before. I know she's not hairdressing at the moment. So, you know, it's a conversation for me now that we know that one of my team can't come back in, bringing her in to pick up those clients. What can you do inside of your business? Who can you have on standby? Or if that's not an option, is there somebody like a babysitter, somebody that we could pay to look after the children so that that stylist can come back into work if that stylist doesn't have the support of family around them? So I'm just going to leave you with that and move into what I've come on to talk to you about today anyway, doing a social media audit. Now, why is this important? Well, we tend to put our social media profiles together and then we kind of don't pay any attention to the actual structure of the profile. We just continue posting and putting stories up and doing lives. And quite often, the social media channels start to become quite disjointed. You know, we might have set Facebook up in 2009, and then we've set Instagram up in 2015, and then we've set LinkedIn up in 2020. As new social media sites come into play, we start setting them up and then they don't look anything like the first one that we put up, and they're very, very disjointed. So let's have a look at, firstly, what a social media audit is and then how to conduct one. So I believe that a social media audit is like a health check, okay, on all of your accounts. And I put mine side by side so that I can see if they're sending the same brand message. And I'll tell you how to do that in a second. Why is that important? Well, we've already established, and I bleed on about this every time I come online, you need to understand who you are as a business. What do you stand up and serve? What is your flag in the moon? What is it that you truly believe? What's your core values and beliefs inside of that business? That may have changed since we started up Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. And so that message may not be being communicated efficiently. Now, what happens when we communicate different messages on different social media sites is we start to confuse the guests, because they're like, well, this business is this here, but it's this over here. And that doesn't make sense because they don't look anything like, they're not trading the same on the different sites. Couple that with the fact that each social media site, and if you've done one of my courses, you'll know this, has its own native language. You know, Facebook speaks a different language to Instagram. Instagram speaks a different language to TikTok. They have their own language. Couple that together and you've got a really disjointed brand, even though you may have done the hard work and figured out who you are, figured out what your message is, and figured out who your your ideal client is. And you may have all of that completely nailed down, but we've completely forgotten about everything else that is going on all the other social media sites. So it's really important to really take a good cold look at them all and see exactly what's going on. Updating your social media is so important, yet most businesses I talk to haven't even changed their Facebook bio in over 2 years. Okay, now I will assure you that since working with me, that salon has completely changed its brand message. It now knows with absolute certainty and clarity who they are as a business and where their flag in the moon is, and yet Facebook is telling their guests something else. And remember, I always say to you, if you confuse a guest, you lose a guest. A guest is a client inside of my business. We call them guests. It's a 365 term. And if you confuse a guest, you lose the guest. And in that time, in that 2 years that they haven't changed their Facebook, their website may have changed. They may have moved premises. They may have changed their phone number. They may have changed their opening hours. But none of that gets changed on social media. You will have really noticed that when we came into the very, very, very first lockdown and everyone was doing this whole panic, when are we back open? We don't know. It was so important to change our opening times on social media and Google and on our website, and because people really honestly thought you were still open. But have you changed them back? And did you change them to closed for this lockdown and back open again? Or did we just leave them because we knew that this was only a month and we've done this before and we were a little bit blasé about it? An active page is a more visible page. So if you're constantly changing things on that page and posting on that page, it's more visible than anyone else's, because we know that the algorithms in social media favor the people that spend more time on their profile. So by changing these things, it puts you in a good stead. Also, if you've got your Instagram and your Facebook connected to your website, that updates your website. So Google, even if you're never updating your website, and we know that we should always be updating our website by putting blogs on, so that Google know that we are still open and we're still trading, we're still doing business, so it ranks us higher. If we connect our Facebook and our Instagram, maybe our LinkedIn as well, TikTok, if you can do that. I actually haven't seen a TikTok connection. However, I'm sure there is one. It's just not been something I've looked for because it's not been important enough in my brand, but definitely look for one if it's important enough in your brand. By doing that, every time I update my Instagram, Google then reads that my website's been updated because a new picture's come on. So it's really helping me to not only grow my social media, but it's helping me to grow my presence in Google and keep me up the ranks. We are number one where in Ramsgate for hairdressers, and I have fought to be in that place for many, many years. And actually the only person that I kept doing this with has now closed their doors. So I'm not that worried anymore about having to keep fighting to be there, because I think we've pretty much nailed it, unless somebody else comes along under the woodwork. But lots of new clients find me through my website. So, you know, if the website has changed since we set up Facebook and we've got a new website address, and that website address isn't on Facebook, we're missing a trick here, because the client that then just wants to effortlessly check out your website can't just hit that link because the link's wrong. So making sure that the correct information is on your social media accounts and that the links are live. You know, sometimes we put links up and we're like, well, that's the right link, and off we go do another job, and we don't actually check it until somebody messages us and says, that link doesn't work. And we're like, oh God, that's so embarrassing. Or there's lots of spelling mistakes. If you check my website or social media, there will always be lots of spelling mistakes. I'm dyslexic. Does it harm my business in any way? No. Does it help me when someone points out live on social media that I've spelt something wrong? Yes. Why? Because I've always got the grammar police checking up on me. And when they do, it's telling Instagram that somebody's talking to me. So when I answer them back, it's like pushing my post further. Do I care? No. I just correct the spelling. It's fine. But we need to make sure that if you're not dyslexic and you can't pull that, that you do make everything spell checked and everything is correct on your site. So let's have a look at how to conduct a social media audit on all of your sites. Okay, so these are the things that you should be checking right away, and write these down so that you can go away and do this afternoon. It shouldn't take you any more than half an hour absolute tops, but it gets you set up, ready to move back into your business, knowing that this job has been done and that people can find you and move around your social media and website in a really efficient, effective way. So, number one, when was the last time you updated your Facebook banner? Or has that just remained the same? If you're part of 365, they send you banners that you can use. If you're not, then my preferred method is using Canva, because then it's got my logo all over it. So if you go into canva.com, you can actually search for Facebook banner, and it gives you the correct template size to create your banner, so that you can then just download it onto your laptop, upload it onto Facebook. It's the perfect size. So all you need to do is to figure out what words you want to put on it and what picture. Now, there's a couple of things to think about, and that is where the Facebook profile sits over the top of the banner. So if you have a look on Facebook, have it side by side, a Facebook banner beside the tab that you've got open to make the Facebook banner, and keep flicking back and forth, you'll start to realize that actually the Facebook profile picture, the round circle, sits over a part of that. So you don't want anything, any words half under that, or any picture half under that. You want to keep that space clear. Also, you want to make things super clear, super easy to read, super easy to understand who you are as a business and what you're giving the world. Who do you serve? So keep it in line with your message and your ideal client. So when you're creating this, I want you to literally just have Sue in your, pretend Sue is sitting on the other side of your desk. Okay, I love playing role playing, like when I do stuff in my business, because it's like, it just gets me in that zone. So Sue sat there, and I'm like, okay, Sue, so what do you want to know from me? And then I start thinking about, what does Sue need to know? The minute she meets me and my business, what does she need to know about my business? No, she doesn't know me. Okay, let's pretend that this is a Sue that doesn't know me. She doesn't know me. So what do I need to tell her and communicate to her to get her to look down the page and be interested? And that's what you want to put on your Facebook banner. Do you have a link on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, to your opening hours and your online booking system? Now, it's really, really cool if you've got a system like Salon IQ that has the opening hours and the online booking system all in one place. So you only need one link. If not, there is a little trick called Linktree. And you can literally go on www.linktree.com and you can register to use, it's basically like a tree. So in Instagram, for instance, you can only have one link, which is really annoying if you're wanting to send. So like for this business, for my coaching company, I want to send people to my podcast. I want to send people to the Facebook group so they can be in here and watch and learn this stuff. I want to send people to my Facebook page or my free Salon Owners Guide to Instagram download. So there's so many places that I want to send them, but I can only have one link. Well, what Linktree is, literally a tree. So the branches off are all the other links. So we have one main link that is linktree.com/successful salon mentor. And then we've got a clickable link inside of that sends them off to my podcast, that sends them off to this Facebook group, that sends them off to my Facebook page, that sends them off to my free Salon Owners Guide to Instagram download. So it sends them off into all the different places that I would like them to go, and they can make that choice. But you wouldn't be able to do that without using the Linktree link. Okay, I hope that's making sense to you. Okay, do you have a Facebook or IG gift card system activated? You know, when we went in the last lockdown, Instagram and Facebook really came up good for us. Like, they literally sat there and brainstormed, how can we help small businesses right now when they're shut and they can't make any money? And so they organised this whole button for gift cards for us, which was just amazing. Now, have we built that? Have we put our gift cards on there? Are they available for our clients to buy? Or the shop? Facebook and Instagram both have a shop. We know that Instagram are now favouring people using the shop because they've actually put the little button down the bottom. Now, Instagram did this about 2 years ago, put that little shop button down the bottom, and then it clearly wasn't working efficiently and effectively enough, and they couldn't get enough products on there, so they took it off. They then went and made the system for the shop inside of Facebook and got that absolutely perfect, and they've piggybacked that into Instagram, so now the shop's a massive thing again. So the two companies are working really, really, really well together. Obviously, they're owned by the same person, as is WhatsApp. And you should soon be able, and shush, guys, okay? Because not many people know this. So this is just for you. But soon you will be able to take payments, yes, payments, through WhatsApp. Can you imagine how amazing that is for your business? Somebody WhatsApps you and says, have you got an appointment? And they're a new guest and you're a salon that wants to take deposits. Yep, here's a time and date. Here's a deposit button. They can pay you inside WhatsApp. Like, amazing. Obviously, it's not out yet. And I don't know when it will be out, but they do think it will be out sort of mid next year, which will just be amazing. Start thinking about all the ways that you could use that. You know, I think it's phenomenal. Do you have an autoresponder set up inside Messenger? When somebody messages you on Facebook, is it just left and there's no comeback? Or is there an autoresponder that says, thank you for reaching out to Obsession Salon. We're busy at the moment, but we will get to this message as soon as we can, or something along those lines. I don't actually know what ours says, because I think I set that up about, oh my God, 7 or 8 years ago now. So there we go. There's a prime example. I don't know what it says. I set it up 7 or 8 years ago. My brand has changed. So do we need to go back into Facebook Messenger? Yes, and that's something I'm going to be doing today. And just double check to see. In fact, I'm going to see if I can do it right now, just to give you an idea of what our Facebook Messenger says. Okay, let's have a look. And then you might be able to utilize the same message that we use, the same autoresponder, might be great for you. Okay, then there's a message in there, so that's cool. Okay, so ours says, thanks for messaging Obsession Salon. We will be in touch as soon as we can be. If you need us urgently, please call the salon during business hours on 01843 852 662. Lots of love, the Obsessions reservations team, and a little pair of scissors emoji. Now, I think that's absolutely fine. Luckily, our brand hasn't changed that much, but it could have said something that I didn't like in line with my brand, and I haven't thought about it in over 7 years. So go, if you have set your Messenger autoresponder up, go check what it says. If you haven't, set one up. And then your autoresponder on your emails. Does an email autoresponder go out when somebody emails you? Because there's nothing more frustrating. I tell you now, I email so many salons and businesses. And there's nothing more frustrating than when I send an email and I'm like, did they get it? Do they know? Are they going to respond? Have they seen it? I don't know. So an email autoresponder in your emails. Can clients find you easy and book with you online? Can they find if they're Googling inside Instagram, do you come up? If they're like, I use Instagram, that's my preferred method of anything. So if I want to find something out, I just Google. Instagram and Pinterest are the two go-tos for me. So if I want to find out, I don't know, the best vitamin or what vitamin could I be deficient in for this eye tick thing that's going on, which has been driving me insane, I'd go to Pinterest. If I'm looking for a company or outfits for a day out in London, then I would go to Instagram. Okay, so people would then, and me specifically, if I'm going away, like I was in Cornwall for my best friend's wedding just before this lockdown, literally the day before. So I needed to get my hair done. So inside of Instagram, I'm like, hairdressers in Cornwall. Do you show up? If not, you're missing a trick. You need to be the first person on that list to show up. Okay, and can they book with you online? Oh my God, if you don't have online booking, guys, get it. Stop dragging your heels, because I've said many, many times, e-commerce has grown literally 15% in 3 months. It took e-commerce 10 years to grow 15%. We got 15% in 3 months, which was 10 years worth of growth in 3 months in Q1 of this year. So get online, because that's not going back. That's not reversing. If you're not showing up online as your brand and your presence isn't strong, that's not going away. You're not helping your business at all. Have you got book now or DM buttons on your posts? So when you post inside of Facebook, is there a book now button or a buy now button on your posts? If not, start using them, because they're super, super efficient. Imagine reading a post and thinking, actually, yeah, I really want to book an appointment with this person, and then being able to press the button and then that happens. So make things easy for them. Are your links active and pointing to where you want the client to go next? I'll say that again. Are your links active? Do they work? And are they pointing a client to where you want them to go next? What do you want them to do? Every time you post, you need to ask yourself the question, what do I want them to do next? And then that is where you point your links to. Are you highlighting your business in the highlight section? You know, really think about when a client meets me for the first time, or a client meets my business for the first time, what do I want to shout about? You know, if you were in the X Factor contest of salons and you had to stand on stage and tell me all the things that are absolutely amazing about your business, what would you be shouting about? What would you be saying? Oh my God, and I've got these amazing back massage chairs and my team are just delightful. Like, the service that they give is just absolutely beautiful. And we burn incense every day and we have crystals around the salon because that makes a really calm and delightful atmosphere. The music that we play, every single client comments on, which, by the way, is so bloody rare. Most of the time you get one client that loves it, one client that hates it, the team don't like it, but everybody loves it. We've really finally hit the nail on the head after 17 years in business. But what would you be shouting about? And that's the things you put in the highlights. And what do your social media sites, and this is the most important thing, what do your social media sites look like together? Now, the way I do this is I literally screen grab on my phone. So I go onto Facebook, screen grab. I go onto Instagram, screen grab. I go onto LinkedIn, screen grab. TikTok, screen grab. All of the places that you show up and your website, screen grab. I screen grab everything and then I lay them out on a Word document. So I push all of the screen grabs, just fire them off from the phone to the Mac. They arrive on the Mac and I pull them into a Word document and just lay the pictures side by side. You will honestly be so shocked at how different they all look. Even me, when I did this in the last lockdown, I was like, oh, some of them have got blue all over them. Some of them have got pink all over them. One of the others had brown all over them. I was like, what am I thinking? It gives off so many different vibes. Oh, I've just seen, Alina, your messages come through. Good morning. And good morning, Liam. So make sure that you lay them all next to each other and really, really check. You know, Facebook groups, Facebook pages, you can pick the colours, make sure they're the same and that they're the colours that talk to Sue. Make sure your bios are the same. Make sure your message across all of them are the same. And just really make sure you're talking to the end user, which is your ideal client. Okay, which book now do you then call them if they need a patch test? Absolutely, absolutely. And that's always in our messages. We don't even get as far as people booking without that conversation having happened. It goes out in our colour autoresponders. It goes out in my text messages. So if you're using the book now button, point it, if you've got an online booking system, point the link towards that, and then in that online booking system, make it like a pop-up that happens, or I don't think it's a pop-up in Salon IQ. I think it's, no, I think it is. I think after they've checked out, that comes up, and it is on the description of all of our colours services as well. So, and it is in caps, like you cannot book the service without having a patch test. Now, I check patch tests every single day inside of my business so that I don't get this issue. And I can click on 7 days, so it tells me who needs a patch test within the next 7 days. When we came out of lockdown last time, nobody was allowed back in my salon without having a patch test. And I don't care. I don't care if your patch test was valid. You've just rested and been in a completely different state for 3 months. Your inside of your body has completely changed, whether you like that or not. So everyone, if you didn't want a patch test, you weren't coming back to the salon. That was my final decision. So everybody had them then, and then moving forward from that, I check every single day who's coming in and who needs patch tests. And I'm very lucky because Salon IQ make that very easy. There is literally a button that you click 3 or 7 days, who needs them, and I personally phone and text and just say to them, you have to come in and have it. We won't do your service if you don't. Because what we started to get before the last lockdown was new clients booking an appointment and then just completely ignoring what I said about the fact that you can't have it done without a patch test. And then a couple of times I got into a bit of a heated discussion when I'm saying, well, you can't have it done. Well, I'm here. Well, you can't have it done because you were told to come and have a patch test, and actually you've been texted and phoned and you've chosen to ignore it, so you can't have it done. You can have a cut by all means. But I'm not risking my business just because somebody couldn't be bothered to come down for 2 minutes to have a patch test. And actually, our patch tests are really informative. Like really informative. Whether you've had a patch test or not, I explain the entire thing that I'm doing, the reasons why I'm doing it, why we mix 2 colours together, the fact that that encompasses the whole of the colour range. So every single molecule that would be in any single combination of colour, we are now testing you for. So nothing would go onto your scalp that you have not been tested for. Obviously, the peroxide is in there as well, so you're tested for that. So you're absolutely perfectly covered for absolutely everything. We use Paul Mitchell colours, and then I go into talking about the Paul Mitchell colours and how they're vegan friendly, just in case they didn't know that, so that they might have a vegan friend, and then that comes out in conversation. Oh, you know the hair colour that I've got on? Yeah, it's vegan, you know? So that is like, why would they not want to come in for that? It's a really nice little, like literally a little 2-3 minutes spiel that comes out of my mouth on reservations, and it's really nice. It's informing them rather than just coming in and like, yeah, done, thanks, bye. Really make sure that they have an experience even with a patch test. Okay, if client books a colour online and a new client, they have booked a big slot, how do they know they have to have a consultation? So, well, you'll have a consultation at the beginning of their service anyway. I mean, you would do with everybody that comes in, even if it's a regular guest, you would sit and have a consultation with them. You just factor that into the time that you take, the time that you allow for a colour service. If you're talking about how would they know if they need a patch test, if they've booked a colour online, you need to make sure that that colour, in the description of that colour, if you're on Salon IQ, I don't know how, apologies, I don't know how any of the other computer systems work, but it would need to absolutely say, you know, you cannot have this service without patch test, and maybe mention something about the consultation in there if you want to. Towards free consultation, that is what I offer. I don't know what you're meaning there, Liam. Towards free consultation, that is what I offer. We don't charge for them. I actually have batted around the idea, because I just love changing stuff up. I have batted around the idea of a paid for consultation. I haven't done it yet, because I haven't sat and really thought about it. But I just thought that really just makes us really different. The fact that we charge for a consultation, and you know, whether that's money that comes into the salon or whether that's money that goes to a charity, which I would really love to do. If we could get away with charging for a consultation and giving that money to the Coco's charity, that would really make my heart smile. And just looking at how could we provide a consultation that is so amazing that somebody would pay for it? That's all we need to think about, and then just change the dynamics. You know, when people pay attention. Write that down. When people pay attention. So yeah, that's something that we're batting around as well. What I mean is, so direct them to book a free consultation. Oh, so you don't, so when, okay, I get what you're saying. So when people book with you, you direct them towards a free consultation. What if they want to book a haircut? What if they want to just have, like, I don't want a consultation right now, I want a haircut. Can they book that? Give them the option, because if that was me, I'm very confident. I know that I'm probably going to get what I want when I go to a salon. Well, I know I'm good at explaining what I want to a salon, obviously. So if they're a confident person, I don't want a consultation with you. I just want to book my haircut because I want to know what time it is, and we'll chat when I'm in the chair. So make sure that you offer them both. And Jen, love this. So beautiful. Look, friend, madam. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've taken up enough of your time this morning. I invite you to spend an hour tops. It's not going to take any more than that. I suggest it would probably only take half an hour if you've been updating regularly on your social media accounts and looking at the discrepancies between them and getting them all singing on the same hymn sheet. Have an amazing weekend. I wish you all a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. I will be back on Monday morning. It will most probably be our last morning live. And then we will revert back to the evening lives, but I will give you more information on that on Monday. So take lots of care. Have the most amazing weekend. Get shit done inside your business. Get ready for war. Get planning. What, you know, think of scenarios that could happen and how you're going to absolutely make sure that that doesn't affect you mentally and emotionally, well-being, or the running of the business, and just go crush it next week. If I don't see you Monday, then please, and I will be here, but what I mean is if you don't log on Monday, then good luck when you go back. We are spending the Wednesday the 2nd. I haven't seen my team all month and it's driven me insane. So we are spending that day as a group, just us on our own, because I just want to look at their faces. I just want to see their faces before it gets to the good morning, hi, how you doing? Have you eaten? Have you had a wee? For goodness sake, go get lunch. Bye, see you in the morning, because that's exactly what it's going to be like until January now. So I just want to spend some time with them, and we're gonna get our hair done, and we're going to put the Christmas decorations up, and we're going to play Christmas music, and we're going to have a beautiful lunch delivered to us, and we're just going to spend some time just loving each other and just being there for each other for one day until the carnage kicks off again. So whatever it is you're doing, if you're going back on the 2nd, good luck. And I just remembered that on the 1st, it's my dad's birthday, so I mustn't forget that. All right, guys. So lots of care, lots of love. Speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.